How can advertising on TikTok help jumpstart sales for your small business?
Thanks to TikTok ads, I was able to open up a business with my childhood friend, get a warehouse, and even hire employees. My name is Julian, and I am one of the founders of the Snacks Lab. We are an exotic snack company. We had over $100,000 in sales from our TikTok ads in the first month. So our orders went from 5 a day to over 250 orders a day. You definitely have to use TikTok ads, and you gotta start now.
Head over to getstarted.tiktok.com/TikTok ads.
Hello, book lovers. Welcome to Must Love Books. Hello, listeners. I just wanted to give a quick note before the episode. This episode was the first ever meeting of the Something Smutty Book Club. As this was our first recording, we are still working out a few kinks in the process. Unfortunately, the audio is one of those kinks. The audio is not always even. This is something that we are working on improving for next month's meeting. Something Smutty will be a monthly feature of this podcast and is a completely unhinged, uncensored, and very NSFW episode for your listening pleasure. I hope you have as much fun listening to our shenanigans as we did recording this episode. And without further ado, here's Something Smutty. Today we are doing Something Smutty Book Club with my cousins. This month we read Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R Miller. We each have our own nicknames for our book club, so today I will be Slowburn.
And I will be Do Not Finish.
I'm Daddy Zeus Apologist.
Revers Harem, baby.
I am Crazy Beach.
Slut.
So for our book club, we had DNF, true to her name, only read the beginning of the book and did not finish it. And Crazy Beach wasn't on a beach, so she could only read the ending of the book. So we're going to have them tell us first what they think happened in Promises and Pomegranates.
Okay, I am Crazy Beach, and I only read the last 2.5 pages because I was not on the beach, so I didn't have time. Or because I just don't read books unless I'm on a beach. But I think this man was in the mafia, and he met this girl, Elena, right? That was her name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the first thing that happened was he raped her. And then they became... Stop, this is what I get. Because it was talking about cutting her and all these injuries she had.
Okay, in the beginning, he was trying to save her.
Oh, well, this is the problem with reading just the beginning or just the end. So then, that all happened. But then they started liking each other. And then she got pregnant, and neither of them wanted it. But then all of a sudden, it was a girl. So they thought, wow, this is great. Let's have her. And then it ends with them on a beach, happily ever after. And so, not really sure what happened in the rest of the book, but it seems like it started out pretty bad. And it ended with this semi-okay life, but he is still a little controlling.
You got more in the last 3 pages than I did in the first, 15. He was just trying to save her. Don't know from what, because I didn't get that far. The prologue, pretty sure he was in a hospital, but I'm also bad at context clues. He talked about IVs and stuff. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, that's very different from my rape and cuts. And...
Yeah.
There's also a prequel that you don't.
Yeah, there is a short prequel.
I did read
but it's just about the first time they hooked up, isn't it?
I read it as well, but there's build up for their relationship, for how they know each other, and I think a little bit more context.
Yeah, most of the context and how they know each other happens in the last third of the book.
I was gonna say
they completely skipped all that in the beginning and then mention it later.
That's why I feel like the prequel should be kind of required.
The prequel should have just been the whole prologue.
To understand, what's going on in the context.
Well, I personally think we did a pretty good job guessing.
Honestly, not terribly bad. The only thing you're missing is it was consensual because it was her idea. So Elena is a mafia princess and a virgin who is being pressured by her family to marry another mafia dude, Matteo, who she's dating but hates, and they beat each other?
No, I don't think they were dating.
No, they were dating.
They were dating.
They were dating.
But I don't know.
Engaged.
Yeah.
I think they were like together.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like years. But I think they were like
Never-
forced to date.
Yes.
Definitely, yes.
Thank you. Didn't the main guy, I don't know his name.
Cal.
Yeah. Wasn't he gonna kill Matteo?
Oh, he does.
Yes, he does. He slits his throat.
Yeah, because he said
Or
he was gonna
something.
do
No, he
that.
stabbed
No, he
him.
stabs him. That's right.
And poisons him.
Yeah, poisons him and then stabs him for good measure,
Yeah,
just in
until he
case.
really gets it.
And then he forces Elena to marry him, which it is a Hades and Persephone retelling, so that is in line with the original myth. You
Yeah,
know.
I would never have ever got that ever. It's not like it was stated 17,000 times.
Throughout the entire book.
Seriously, we should count how many
It did,
times.
Not
it did
derogatory.
start the last couple pages with that also. So I at least got that.
Trust me.
The book
First chapter had that too.
Yeah, the book
Yeah.
constantly reminds you that they are Hades and Persephone, just in case you forget.
Yep, I got that.
It is.
And the
You
mom.
know, isn't the worst thing if you don't know anything to do with the myths?
Yeah,
However,
but if you don't know anything about
does-
the myths,
it does
are you
lack-
going to pick up this book?
it lacks a lot of subtlety. So,
I mean, I picked up the book. I didn't know anything about it.
You were told to pick up the book.
I recommended this book.
did you?
Yes.
I thought it was.
This was the book I recommended.
Oh, you know what? No, you recommended it, and I'm like, you know
yeah.
what? I already have it.
Yeah, and I was like,
because
is this Hades and Persephone?
I bought it solely based on the cover, not knowing it was a mafia romance because I don't normally read
That's the
mafia
whole reason
romance.
I picked
Exactly. So how does this compare to your other mafia romances?
I'm only 100 pages in. I tried. I mean, I read darker so far.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
agree.
this is
I don't
not.
think it's that dark.
I don't think it's
No.
that dark.
It's not dark. There's just a lot of blood play, which I didn't read any of the trigger warnings, so I wasn't expecting that.
I feel like I got that from like the first chapter that there was probably going to be.
I figured there was going to be some. I didn't realize it was going to be every single time
I
they
got
see
that
each
from
other.
from the prequel because he carves his initial in her thigh in the prequel.
That's what I read at the end.
And that's-
that was the rape and the cutting I was talking about.
In the prequel, he carves his initial into her thigh.
so that the next person she gets with, Matteo, would.
Yeah.
No,
Of course, he killed Matteo before that could happen.
Exactly.
So,
But he planned on killing him initially.
Not
really.
initially.
Not in the prequel.
well,
no.
I didn't think he. No, he
you
didn't.
guys didn't finish the book.
He didn't finish the book.
In the prequel, it does end with like him saying something about how
It was like, oh, now that I've had her.
I'll never let her go. So
So,
yeah.
the whole thing where he's forcing her to marry him to save her life is because he is blackmailing himself.
Okay, I literally thought it was fake.
I guessed that from the beginning too.
Yeah,
So-
I did.
They kind of hint at it a lot in the beginning.
especially since he was looking for a way out with the family, and that
Yeah.
was his way to get her and get clean.
Yes.
In the video?
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah, he made the video, he sent the video, and he's like, see, we're being threatened. Now we have to get married or she's going to be killed.
That's how you gotta do it, I guess.
I am not surprised.
Which they do confirm in like the final chapter
Again,
and
it's
introduce
100 pages
a new character who I'm sure has to be in one of the next books because there is a second person who blackmails him by sending sex videos of them.
18-year-old. The
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, it's some 18-year-old who's been in a coma and she wakes up and she's like, they meet in an office and she's like, hey, here's a flash drive. And he's like, it was you this whole time.
Yeah, I read that part.
And then there's literally nothing mentioned anymore about it. So she's got to be like the star of the next book or
Is it a
something.
series.
I think there's 4 of them.
Is she pregnant from the beginning?
No.
Because like with
I
her
thought she
not
would've been
fitting in
pregnant,
her
too.
dress, because remember she couldn't fit into her.
No,
wedding
I think
dress.
she just liked to eat and just had an ass.
You know what?
I
Crazy Beach over here.
I get that.
Yeah.
but I definitely got the vibe that she was pregnant from the beginning too.
No.
Like I thought that's what they were alluding to.
At first I thought they were, but
How
Then
long
it's-
is the span of time?
they talk about one, we don't know
what the scanner time is.
She could have been.
Well, they do make a point to discuss birth control. And he is a doctor.
What ain't gonna work? She's already they definitely didn't use
that is why at the beginning where he's
Death.
in... But they call him Dr. Death because he actually is a trauma surgeon.
So he wasn't the one in the hospital, but he was. Because
he was working in the hospital.
He wasn't a patient. He was.
They definitely did not use any sort of protection in the prequel.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, probably not.
It was a pump and dump. It's gone.
Literally.
Literally.
He didn't even take his clothes off. He just left.
No, because she was like fixated on what he looked like naked for like a good chunk of the beginning of the book.
Yeah, it's because he has scars and he's scared that she would be scared.
Makes sense.
So, and then he finally gets naked and they go skinny dipping.
Does he reconcile with his sister?
They really make it sound like they reconcile. Like they have a nice brother-sister moment.
Okay.
And then she bounces.
Relatable.
And like in the epilogue, I think it was, he's like, never heard from her again.
Oh,
Probably not dead.
Yeah.
Probably fine.
Right. It's okay.
Unless they're gonna make her a main character and
You know what? She
That
could
makes
be.
sense.
Maybe she is. Otherwise, I see literally no point of her character in this book
Yeah.
since it wasn't really resolved. And he has two other siblings that are briefly mentioned. I don't know if we even hear their names. But there's other siblings too. So I wonder if they have other stories as well.
See OCD.
No. So he has. I can't even remember what it's called, but
having panic attacks.
he has this thing where he's very sensitive to sounds. Starts with an M, don't remember what it's called, but they mention it again in the final chapter.
Yeah, I saw it in there too.
And it's not a plot point. It's mentioned in the beginning, and it's mentioned in the end, and it never once comes up again.
It's his behaviors. It's why he freaks out when like noises are repeated.
With the
But he never freaks out again.
Yeah, he does. He does when she's rolling up the window in the beginning-ish.
Yeah, well, it's only in the beginning, though.
Shoots the freaking watch.
Yeah, the watch, the ticking
Yeah.
of the
The
watch.
ticking
But it
wasn't
probably
timing out.
is like inconsistent with.
It is very.
something that you
Once
should have
they
kept putting
leave
in
and
here.
get into the island and everything, it is not mentioned again until the book ends. To the point where when he mentioned having this disorder, I'm like, what are you talking about? No, he doesn't. Oh, wait. No, he did. I forgot about it by the time, because that was just how long till they mentioned it again. But they told us 15 times that it's Hades and Persephone.
But I wonder if it's something that she added like later on.
You know,
and
maybe
then that's
it
how
is.
you know like it wasn't as consistent.
Yeah, which is possible for sure.
So you gotta give him a little bit something else, you know?
So did anyone else finish the book or just me?
Just you.
Well, technically Allie did because she.
I did. I read the last couple pages, so I absolutely finished the book.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that technically counts in a way.
I mean,
You read the finishing pages.
yeah, I did. So I finished it.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody got to, like, the really gross twist.
Was it that he was sleeping with the mom?
Yes.
That was in the beginning.
They hint about it, and then she,
Then she like groomed him. Right?
yeah, she straight up groomed him, and it comes about later when Elena finally finds about it from the mom. They finally go to see the in-laws after being married and away for however long
Yeah, and
apart it
I
is.
feel like they talk about right in the prequel and in like the first time he mentions
When
her.
she shows up begging him to leave his daughter.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah. They told her.
Yeah, and the mom is like drunk on wine, which
As one does, I guess.
as one does. Cheers.
As we're-
as we're almost one bottle down. And then so she basically makes a whole big deal about it to Elena in front of everyone, all of their family.
Oh my god.
And then Elena gets mad, and they all go to her younger sister's dance recital, which is at this
Ariana.
massive fancy theater where they have like skyboxes basically. So she's all like, ew, you fucked my mother, don't talk to me ever again.
And then they angry bang.
And then they angry bang in the fucking box.
Yeah, they do.
Right in front of everybody.
I called that one.
I would be a little creeped out if I found out that.
I would immediately get divorced. Say absolutely bye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to everyone.
I don't know
all of
how
them.
I would-
Because
I
I
everyone
literally
knew.
never speak to anyone ever again. Probably
No. Absolutely not. So then, they like angry bang in the
skybox at this theater right next to her parents.
Sounds right on.
And it is revealed that literally everyone heard and saw them as they're fucking.
Well, usually they're up pretty high, and they sometimes have lights right there.
Exactly,
like the whole place saw it.
Right,
yeah.
Not just the box.
Like everyone saw. And like she's got a thing for
entertainment,
for being caught.
like a voyeur.
That they hint at a lot.
Yeah.
So I figured like this was going to come up at some point because she's like constantly like
He'll
threaten like he threatens her like be bad and I'll fuck you in front of your dad. And she's like
as they're getting married.
Yeah.
and he's like marry me or I'm gonna fuck you in front of your dad. And she's like
No.
That's cute.
No, thank you.
So I figured at some point there would be a public display
Of affection.
of something. So yeah, they angry bang in the box, and then she's like, I have to go to the bathroom, and leaves. Ditches her phone, leaves him a poem in the bathroom for him to find.
He used to leave her.
That's what I do when I leave men.
You do with some flair.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, he used to leave her poems.
Yeah.
Which is also something inconsistent I saw between that and like the prequel. Is maybe I didn't read it as in depth, but like he talks about how he never really looked at her like that until their first time together. When like,
because he thought he was leaving the poems for the mom.
oh yeah, then I didn't read that part.
Yes.
He thought he was leaving the poems because they have identical balconies. So he
That's
thought he was leaving them
hilarious.
on the mom's balcony.
Okay, because I was like, that seems really.
She's been falling in love with him this whole time,
years.
reading these poems that he was leaving this teenage child accidentally while fucking her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems really.
And then she's like 18, 19. It's her. She's at a party.
I think they're 20 when they finally. Isn't she 20?
No, she's 19.
I thought she was
They
20.
make a big deal about how she can't go into the bar he owns.
Well, you have to be 21 to get into a bar.
Yeah.
They were 20. She was 20. It was on her 20th birthday that they
It was her 20th? Okay.
But it was 18 when the first time she came on to him.
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, realized that he fucked up and was sending them to her and not the mom.
Yeah. And then right before her wedding, she goes up to him and is all, take my virginity.
Yes.
Because I don't want my first time to be with my husband. Yeah.
Because he abused her. To each their own. Not going to judge kinks.
That's judgeable.
Twins are okay.
But what?
What was that? The twins are okay.
You need to, Amanda, you need to wait until like the 5th podcast starts saying that stuff. You gotta wait a little bit. You gotta like lube them into it. You can't just go full speed. You have to wait for the twins comment.
You can't do mom and sister, but you can do twins. It's fine.
Amanda.
It's not. What about cousins? We're in a room of cousins.
You know, I'm gonna just our next book should be a reverse harem. Yep, and I'll make sure there's twins in it.
Well, I guess we don't have to read it, so what do we care?
Well, I think we should switch roles.
If we switched roles, it would take us 3 years to get another episode out because it'll take Kaylee that long to read it.
When did we go to Mexico?
A year and a half ago?
So I've been in the same book for a year and a half.
What book is that?
The Heritage Games, I think.
I thought you didn't remember.
No, it's about...
To be fair,
well,
she did say I think.
Yeah. It's about some random kid finding a rich family, basically.
God, I don't understand.
Well, the rich family found her.
So, this book that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she was rich to start out with.
The girl in this book, Elena? Yes.
Yeah.
She's a mafia princess.
Yeah.
Mafia princesses are always rich.
Yep.
What exactly is a mafia princess? Like your parents?
daughter
are-
of the
Yeah. He's like
I think
the
her
grandfather like started
like
it.
Al Capone.
yeah, the
Yeah.
dad's a Don, so
They're Don.
they're Italian.
Dad named Don.
He must be rich.
A Don. Not Don. A Don.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't finish it.
She started too late because
Something else.
she was reading so many other things.
So was
I
I.
was.
We're putting you on blast now.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
What book
I
were you
didn't
reading?
finish it. I was reading That Sick Love.
That's how my...
She put it on our list to read as a group and then went and read it on her own.
Okay, but I haven't finished that book either because I stopped reading that one to read this book. I was reading that book before I even suggested that book.
That's funny.
It was good though.
Did you finish it? Oh.
Now stop so I can read this book.
Well, I don't know. Well, you said it was good. I just...
Okay, how would we rate this out of 5 stars?
A 2
See,
for
the
me,
thing
but
is,
I also didn't finish it. So
Is you don't really want to upset any people, you know?
We can still give stars. That's what good read is for.
I like upsetting people too, but
I would say I will be honest. I read a lot of these books, and I did not finish this, and I am not a do not finish.
I read a lot of books too. I'm never gonna finish this book.
I will not finish this book.
I won't finish it. I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, I would not finish.
I just feel like there could have been such a bigger twist and such a bigger higher stakes to it.
But more character development too. I don't
Yeah.
think that there's really any.
There's no character development except he does open up more, but that's not really
development.
I can understand why people would like it. You know what I mean? It's an easy read, I think.
It's an easy read. The smut is well done. It's written well.
Yeah,
it's not my style of things, but it's written well.
I like more men.
Except there is one scene where I felt like she was wearing too many pairs of underwear.
Took them off too many times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he took her underwear off twice.
And then she never wore them again.
And that never wore them again.
Yeah. I mean, she's rich. She's got money for a lot of underwear.
Yeah, but she never wore them.
She never wore them. Yeah,
That's a commando after that.
In her dresses and miniskirts.
Yeah,
sounds like every other mafia book.
Sounds like a mafia
Yeah,
princess.
there's something that really struck me as this stands out as far as there's something different. There's a different plot twist.
No.
It was all kind of what I expect to read in a mafia book.
I do agree,
At least
though.
a straight character.
I feel like the stakes should have been higher. There should have been some kind of
There
stakes
was all this
to get you to want to read it.
Other mafia groups that wanted to start a mafia war, and there were the elders that wanted to kill people, and nothing.
The elders felt fatally magical. I didn't understand their purpose. I was like, what are they going to do? They're all powerful? What?
Apparently they wanted to kill her for not being a virgin.
But it's just funny to me the way there's the generic elders.
Their sister had sex.
Oh, which one?
Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
But they mentioned that when she's talking to her sister via video chat, that she's like, "Oh, it was your first time," and she's the middle sister. So obviously the virginity didn't apply to everybody. Why did it apply to her? Because she was
getting married to the.
Probably the arranged marriage.
Yeah,
it was probably part of their written contract.
Maybe.
Or none of them know that the other sister, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, she probably didn't get filmed.
Also probably true. Yeah. It's okay to be filmed.
Well,
when you know about it. We're learning all sorts of things about reverse harem baby tonight.
I'm a little concerned what's happening at her house.
What's happening on her Kindle?
I'd be more worried about.
Interesting. Well, I personally would rate this book a 0.3 because I read 3 pages.
Fair.
And there wasn't much in those 3 pages other than
what you assumed would be rape.
It seemed that he raped her. He cut her. They didn't want a kid, and then they said, "Fuck it, let's just keep her." And she had birth control and didn't want to take it. And they were on a beach, happy-go-lucky out of all of that.
Was the baby planned?
No.
So obviously they weren't very good with the birth control.
That's what I mean. There was no birth control in the prequel.
Yeah.
It's not like
maybe she already was. We don't know how long this whole thing takes place, really.
Maybe she was pregnant.
Or how long it's been since then.
It's not his kid.
No,
it's mentioned many times that he's the only one to ever touch her.
I don't really believe that.
I don't like books that go into some sort of time reference.
Yeah, there's
I
not
do like
much.
even if it's like
a throwaway comment, like, oh, it's been 3 weeks, or it's been this many, you know what I mean?
I like some sort of time reference when I'm reading.
A month later, I'm still doing this.
Right, because
or,
I mean,
you
if
know?
this happened in like a month, like a week,
obviously, yeah, she did not have a child.
right? But you know what I mean? Like if this is like, oh, you know, the only
This is a Twilight baby.
the only time reference is between the prequel.
Yeah,
but you would have had to have read the prequel to understand the one time reference.
But that's what I mean.
Like,
I think it was necessary. I don't think it was. I think it gives you context, like a lot more context.
right, because she says it was like 8 weeks or 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I think it was like 8 weeks since their first encounter, or since their encounter where he left her in the middle of the night with nothing but a poem.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're going to read this book, you should read the prequel. I think that you're going to get more context.
I feel like it's a little
and
necessary.
More information than if you just go straight into the book.
That being said, I still give it a 1.
Yeah, it was well written.
It was well written. The metaphors were a little heavy.
It was metaphor heavy.
Metaphors kind of, you need to use them like with subtlety.
That's really good.
And it was kind of like how many metaphors can...
Yeah.
It was like a checklist of metaphors.
There was also a lot of internal monologue, especially in the beginning of the book. And I don't really like that. Usually in the beginning of the book, a lot of internal monologue. Okay.
I think I would give it a 2 because it's not my style of book. And honestly, if I knew it was a mafia romance, I wouldn't have got it. I literally bought it for the cover.
Yeah, because you like Greek mythology. So
I love Greek mythology. I saw the pomegranate. I'm like, this is going to be great. I didn't even know it was modern day.
Right. I didn't know.
Just picked it up and I'm like, yep, I'm immediately buying
I was like, is this about Persephone and Hades? And she said no. And then you said yes.
What? I don't understand what the meaning is with the pomegranate. Like, I don't.
Okay, so in Greek mythology, there is this young goddess Persephone and the god Hades, who is Zeus's brother.
God of the underworld.
Yes, God of the underworld.
I know.
She's watched Hercules.
I haven't actually.
We're fixing that.
Percy Jackson, though.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, Hades and Persephone are both in Percy Jackson.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
What's the pomegranate?
So the pomegranate is
6 pomegranate seeds. And so she gets stuck in the underworld because she ate food from the underworld. She eats 6 pomegranate seeds. And so she gets stuck in the underworld for 6 months a year. Every year. And she marries him. It's like
it is the Greek explanation for why we have winter.
Yeah. It's why the seasons
Persephone's mother is Demeter, the goddess of nature, basically. And every time Persephone is in the underworld, she's sad, so everything dies.
Yeah.
And that's why we have winter.
Oh, I hate winter.
Right?
Hades let her go then.
Yeah. And in many versions of the story, they got married because Hades literally kidnapped her.
And also,
stole her
pomegranates are seeds. It can be a reference for rape. You know what I mean? It can be a lot of things, but it also depends on who translated it. Did the Romans translate it?
That's what I got out of it.
You know what? You're not wrong-ish. But, yeah, I feel like it depends on who translates it is what the origin really is. But, it's also
if you'd read that Greek mythology textbook I gave you,
you would know.
You would know.
Why did you give her that?
She asked to borrow it.
Why?
Because I took a class in Greek myths at CLC.
Mythology nerd in high school, so.
Yeah. And she wanted to read the book, so I let her have it.
I told you we could read the other
6 years ago now?
Probably. It's really interesting to hear about, but that book just didn't seem interesting to me. There was no sex in it, so I didn't want to read it.
I agree. I absolutely
Listen.
We're like, I'm not about this.
I'm not feeling you right now.
I'm sorry there was not enough spice in my college textbook for you.
It was fun. Accept your apology. Maybe next time, give me one with more spice.
I'm sure we can find
I want to borrow your textbook.
Good luck finding it.
She lost it.
It's somewhere in my apartment.
Okay.
Wind me, please.
That's why we need video.
Which one?
Whichever's open.
Oh,
I like this one.
Which one do we have? You only gave me like a sip.
Do you want more?
I give it a 2. From what I've read.
The other one.
a 2, and I'm only 100 pages in. But this is my style of reading. I like this stuff. So
I like it. I like that one too.
I think it could have been good. You know what I mean? I think if some things had been different, it could have been a lot better. I think if they alluded to it a little bit more than just outright in your face saying it every 5 sentences, I think it would have been a little bit better. It would have and if there was higher stakes and
I like higher stakes.
I don't even really need super, super high stakes, but if you don't have like outside stakes, if there's nothing pushing you from the outside, you have to have internal change, like to be an interesting book. You have to have something. It has to progress. Now she's like, no, I just got a baby now, and I live in this. Do they still live on the island?
Yeah, they live on the island. That's where they have the beach.
Hotel.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I can see why it would be for someone else.
Mafia is your style, though, B.
Yeah, I'm not really into mafia.
I know, I just said that was my style.
Yeah, like that's your style. So I'm surprised you didn't like it more.
She's not finished with it.
I'm only 100 pages in.
Are you gonna play?
I am, because it's starting to get interesting.
Okay.
So
Sorry for all the spoilers.
I'm still gonna read it. I'll probably forget in an hour. It's okay.
That's great. Have a little more wine and you'll definitely forget in an hour.
I mean, we already drank 1 bottle.
How's the big bottle going?
Probably about halfway.
Because the big bottle is 2 bottles worth. So really we're 2 bottles down.
Yeah. Yeah. Has the blackberry one even been opened?
Yeah. Yes. I tried it.
Is that the one that was a instant no?
It kind of smells like, it tastes like this cheese.
That's blueberry.
The cheese is good.
I told Stephanie we should have brought our own grapes and made our own wine while we were doing the podcast.
She can just push it with her little hobbit feet.
Yeah. When I first started reading this book, I thought we were still reading the Dinosaur book.
Oh my god!
So I was very confused on why we went from dinosaurs to mafia.
We did change our book choice.
Because, listen, that
I read
book was...
I'm happy I didn't buy the dinosaur one.
What was it called?
Tops and bottoms.
Yeah, it was Triceratops and Bottoms. Originally, it was a dinosaur book.
Yeah.
No. And listen,
Dinosaur sex book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. When I went into
dinosaurs who have sex.
No.
It's a lot more than that.
Originally, I thought it was going to be like a generic, like a shifter book. Like, oh, I'm like a werewolf shifter, like a whatever. No. She has sex with the dinosaurs. They're sentient.
And Cyclops.
Selectively.
And aliens.
Selectively.
And
she does have sex with aliens.
And a whole bunch of other
she
stuff.
She goes back to prehistoric. She bangs those dinosaurs.
Are you guys picking horses next? Like,
we wanted to pick something like unhinged and insane.
Like something wild. But I'm going to be honest, I did not think she was actually going to have sex with dinosaurs.
Listen, page 1, she was sitting on the balcony with her nipples out.
No, she was. And she banged like, right, aliens.
Cyclops. There was Cyclops sex parties.
There was a Cyclops sex party.
Yes.
She would have sex with cyborgs.
Yep.
But those were underground because those were illegal for some reason.
Read that again.
She gets in like the first ever time machine.
Yep.
She does. She just shows up.
She does?
Yeah, she just shows up and they're like, okay, yeah, you can get in this time machine and go. And she does.
have sex with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, she did. She befriended the dinosaur at first. I didn't think she...
Triceratops?
Yes, the Triceratops.
Did it use its horn? Is that how she
No, it did not. It used its actual penis. Yes. And...
But you would think it...
I don't remember if she like...
Literally, it wasn't big enough that she could...
Yeah, she did it with a pterodactyl.
Oh.
And then, so it was like the first... almost.
Did it do it as it was flying?
No, she grinded against its neck in that one.
Yeah, pterodactyls had to be like huge, right?
Well, I think a triceratops is probably bigger than a pterodactyl.
I would assume it's much bigger.
Yeah.
It's also got horns. That's why I assumed it was a horn that did it too.
It was kind of like she hung on it, and then she twisted herself around it, and I'm like, man, you got some good upper body strength. And then she got up on it, and she was like grinding on it.
Oh, you really made visuals as you
I'm not joking.
Yeah. It was only 80 pages.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long.
Wow, a lot happened in 80 pages.
No, it was. And then like the first
5
half,
pages in where she's already fucking stuff.
no, for real. Literally the first half of it, she's like with the Triceratops, and she's like formed this like bond with it, and then she goes back to the future. And then every chapter after that, she comes back and bangs a different dinosaur. I don't remember their names. I don't remember Dinosaur names.
So that one actually sounds more interesting than this one.
Objectively, however, it was more.
I wonder what the last 3 pages of that book would have taught me.
I have it. Want to read it?
You know, I can re-download it.
It's more explicit than this is by far.
It showed up on my Goodreads, and I instantly deleted it.
I deleted mine too.
I was like, absolutely.
That's why I don't want
not.
to track my Goodreads. Sorry, I don't want to know.
No.
I was mad. I was worried it was going to change my Kindle algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my god,
because I did download it.
I cultivated mine.
And then after you guys said that in the chat, I was like, I'm not even going to try reading it.
Brittney's like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it is. I already finished it. And then I was like, we shouldn't read this book. We should find something else.
That's why I was very confused when Stephanie sent it to me, because she sent me the pages so I didn't have to buy the book. And then, because I was only going to read the first chapter.
Stop, it's a crime.
But she sent it to me, and it opened with a hospital and then a mafia, and I was very confused. I thought Elena was a dinosaur.
And Cal was the Triceratops.
Honestly,
his Homers did the scraping.
They should do an AU for it.
Oh god.
No, it was a wild read. I regret reading it, and also it's at least I can tell you guys about it. So there you go.
That's true.
Thank you.
A lot
so
did happen
much.
in a very short period of time.
In 80 pages.
In 80 pages.
Yes. Yeah.
I read it in about an hour. I was like, I'm gonna read it, and then I texted you guys later, and I was like, oh, I read it. And you were like, oh my god. Yeah, no, it was.
So it was porn.
Oh yeah.
Like,
there was no plot. Like no plot at all.
It was just straight.
No, there was zero plot. And if there was plot,
it was long.
What was it?
I don't know. That she is in the
time
future,
machine? Is that the plot?
Time travel. That's it.
I want to know who let her do that.
She gets a lady who's her benefactor, and then they go back and they bang it together, and there's a little bit of lesbian spice up in there. It's a whole thing. Okay. No, it's a whole. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's traumatizing.
Anything else on Elena and Cal?
I don't like that he called her little one.
Oh,
I don't like that.
Talk about that.
I like the little one, especially with the age difference. He's 32 and she's
20. So
is she 20? Because I thought they said she was 18 or 19.
She's 20.
I know the night of her 20th
yeah,
birthday.
she's 20. I remember that.
No, but that's not that bad of an age difference. It's not that bad until you realize he also fucked her mother for years.
Well, sure, but even then,
and he knew her as a baby.
I also thought
he started working for them when she was born, so she's known him. So really,
age difference that's a problem, or their situation.
But I want to just know. I thought the age difference going in, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger. Parents' age.
No.
I thought he was going to be in his 50s, and then I was going to be ew, that's a huge age gap. It's 30 years, but
yeah,
no.
Which I guess the age gap is part of the Hades and Persephone myth.
Okay, but wow, that's a way bigger.
That's a way bigger age gap for sure. Yeah,
but. Yeah, the little one was. It was also overused a lot. It was
every time he was calling her little one.
He was blah 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 little one, blah 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 little one, and I'm just ooh, and that's how I read it in my head.
I stays with a man who calls her that though.
It does feel very
if I was in real life with a man and he called me little one, I'd say you have a little one. Goodbye.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's no. Yeah, Krystle loves it.
No, I can't. She kept calling me it earlier, and I was very upset.
It wouldn't bother me.
If you're 5 men, they're going to call you that.
They're going to have you. Right. They can't all call you the same thing.
Right.
How are you going to tell the difference?
No, all 5 will call her little one.
That's not.
Little one is not an attractive.
I don't like that.
It's not an attractive pet name, but it's not something that would bother me.
I mean, it's not
it would bother
hurtful,
me.
But I would not.
Hurtful at all.
To me, it's
I feel a little downgraded.
Yeah, I'm not a child.
I don't think he meant it. I mean, maybe he did.
Oh, he definitely meant it. However, you are not thinking.
She's
not though.
No,
she's tall.
He did not call her. I didn't
She
even read
is tall and thick and curvy. She's not little. She's not like this petite little thing.
We did not call this lady little one because she was small.
But it doesn't.
You're like, listen, I'm trying to find the goods.
It just, to me, that
We're all coming
nickname-
for you.
that
Little
nickname doesn't bother me.
Which is fine. I mean, that's your thing. I think if I'd read it as a teenager, it probably wouldn't have bothered me. As an adult, it kind of bothers me.
Even as a teenager, I don't think I would have liked that.
Well, didn't
like
little
one.
I feel like
Can't you just call me babe?
it was kind of popularized. I feel like when we were a little bit younger, but
On that Wattpad.
no, in like fan fiction.
It's
like
very
that.
much
Oh,
a fan
I was
fiction.
asking
Yeah,
him, it was
not like real relationships.
I would sucker punch someone. If
What
I had
fan
one.
fiction are you reading?
I have too much to say. Yeah, of course you
That
do.
surprised me.
Was yours like your name, Justin Bieber?
That's great. I love that.
Oh, that Wattpad had. What was I gonna do?
But like back when we were like, we didn't have Wattpad. We had fanfiction.net. You know, that makes us feel old. But like, we had that, and then we had AO3. We didn't go to Wattpad once you're like older.
AOL.
You guys didn't read fan fiction.
I used to read.
I read daily
Fan fiction raised us.
Yeah, it did.
entire board cost me like $50.
Yeah, it's really expensive to make
Yeah, I
a
know.
a short coochie board.
Yes.
Yeah, the coochie board.
Yes, I do need a dick-shaped one though. Or even
I think it would be on brand.
Mm-hmm.
I'd even take a booby-shaped one.
Yeah, that would be perfect for our book club.
Yeah.
So, you need to buy it just for our book club.
Well, I wouldn't take it. I'll take it to a family gathering. Who am I saying? I totally would. I'll take it to Christmas.
Okay.
Woo!
That's not saying much in our family.
Christmas titties.
I'm gonna get.
Say Christmas titties.
I'm gonna get a titty one, and then I'm gonna get a dick one, and I'm gonna put little like I'll find something white and have it go on.
Make sure,
Just some whipped cream.
Make sure the balls of the dick one is something blue.
Yes, blueberries.
That's for all your blueberries.
Harry.
That too. Put some kumquats on there.
Those are not good.
I can do some kiwi.
I can't eat that then.
It'll make your mouth itch. You're allergic to kiwi?
Yeah. I can't eat it. Makes my mouth.
I mean,
Else about our book.
hairy balls might make your mouth itch too.
they do make your mouth
I've
itch.
tried that before.
Not kumquats. That's what
They're not good.
We get it. You want more?
Yes.
More wine? Do we really need more wine?
I do. I'm not driving.
All right. Anything else?
Anyone have final thoughts to share on this book?
Not on this book.
Would you read it now that you know what it's about?
No. No, even my 3 pages were enough to make me like, I'm really into this. Like, I also, however, am not somebody who's into mob stuff or
I can't really see you.
so much into
I can't see
any
you reading
kind of
like dark romance.
no dark romances. I'm like the cute.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be sex the whole book.
Yeah,
I don't care, but like. I'd rather you go to a nice white picket fence town and have sex all over that town.
So you want small town romance?
Yeah, that's like way more of me.
Like it's available.
So-
You can find it. So
Right.
Tons
of it.
Yeah.
I occasionally do. Well, I will occasionally read some cute, like
Right.
hometown, like
Right.
small town romance.
I read
But-
fantasy, romance,
Yeah,
fantasy.
right. I'm like, I just finished a Dragon Shifter book,
Right. Yeah, that's
And
kind of
then-
more in the vein of like kind
and
of.
then I do dark. I like the dark romance. Like I
I think
as long as there's more than 3
I
guys.
feel like I read so much dark. Right, at least 3 guys for you.
Yeah,
You can't see it.
I don't know how you like.
yeah. My
You can't
You
see
know
it,
that
but
you like those books. Like how
She stumbled upon them.
I literally stumbled upon it.
She used to read like the regular stereotypical romance, and
Yeah.
then she started reading Reverse Harem, and I think it was like two. It was like a throuple at first. You know what I mean?
It was
like a love triangle, but like why choose?
Yes.
And then it just grew,
And then
it
they
got
grew.
bigger, and now they all have different jobs in the family, and
Yeah.
There's like
I mean,
there's
that
a
sounds very
doctor,
practical.
and
But think about it.
so.
One, you have your center, and then you have your supporting actors.
Right.
You the center and them all the...
So this is basically like polygamy.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
It is polygamy.
Yes, it is polygamy.
Right.
Yeah.
They just call it reverse harems in like the book.
Yes. Or why choose?
Or why choose?
Or polygamy. Even an Ella girl's cool.
She's like, I'm inclusive.
I'm inclusive. But normally...
But you also worked up to that. You started with, like, 2 or 3 guys, and then it was like...
Right,
And then it became more, like, mutual, and...
Right, so I started with, like, one girl with the 2
like,
guys, no sword crossing.
The more you read, like, I feel like you
now
get
it's
desensitized to things.
Yeah, now it's more, everybody just does everybody.
Which I think would make more sense in a functional...
How many people are in these books?
Like 10, duh.
No!
She told... No, it is 10. It is 10. It is 10.
The highest one I've read is 10. It's 9 guys.
No, like 1 girl and 9 guys?
Yeah. So 10 people.
But it sounds like a lot of work.
They all have their own relationships within the thing. They're not inclusive.
They have enough days in the week for that.
But because
she doesn't date
men.
She dates all of them. Yes,
they all date each other.
They all date each other too. Okay.
So guys fuck each other and her.
So it's a gangbang every day.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, there's like every other day. Where twins come in.
Question I have for you about the twins. And I told you we should have waited till 5 because I feel like this is a real pressing question. And this is where it gets weird. Do the twins do stuff with each other or no? Because that will define my opinion of you.
They do. Look at her reaction.
I have read a couple books.
Here's the follow-up question. Does it count as incest if it's twin sex?
Yeah. No! It does! Twincest is incest! Twincest is incest!
How is it not?
Right. Like,
They are siblings!
They're the same person! They do have some differences.
They came from
I am
You
judging.
can't have twincest without incest.
Right. But you can have twins without twincest.
Correct.
Well, how do you just look at your sibling like, yeah?
When it's twincest, they're not normally actually fucking each other. It's more like
They have sex with her at the same time.
Yes. Like
I understand what you're saying.
Slipping in the other twin.
no, there's no dick slipping in the other twin. The other twin might grab the dick to shove it in the girl's vagina.
Okay, that's not as bad then.
I'm thinking like 2006 Weasley's twin.
Yeah.
Again, fanfiction.net.
I don't know what that means. But it's more like,
that was a time.
You got girl in the middle, you got one in the booty, and you got one in the vagina.
Okay, that's just 2 brothers
Really
having
deep.
sex at the same time.
Right.
At the same time.
Right.
Touching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not touching each other. Like they're
They
not
have to
they're
be-
not jacking each
they
other.
gotta be
off.
touching
They're
each other
not-
somewhere.
touching body. So I can get on the side of that's not incest. However, the moment they actually physically do something with each other,
I have read ones where
I'm sure you want this out in the open.
it's a book I read on Kindle, so
you know what? You do you, Panda.
I will read anything once.
Can you explain what you were going to say?
Yes, over this book.
So I've read 1 or 2 where, one twin will grab the other twin's dick to jack him off. Or to insert.
Insert's one thing. To help it get inside, okay.
Yeah.
To help it
Everybody
get
needs
off.
a hand sometimes.
Right.
Right.
A little assistant don't hurt.
I will read anything. More or less. I will not read heavy blood play because I do not like heavy blood.
I thought it was Queen Takes King. Isn't that the first one?
No, I don't know.
What's the first one?
I don't know what the first one is, but Queen Takes Queen is one of them.
I didn't read them. I've just read them.
It starts as it was Queen Takes Queen.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I read one and it was so gratuitous. I was like, I am not.
Like
I don't care
all for
about
little,
it.
like play, but like and Den of Vipers is another one I
I
still
don't
have
really
yet
like.
finished.
I'm not really into any of like the pain play stuff in general. So it's
I had to stop after he put the knife in her
Poochie,
whatever, and he was fucking her and cutting
It
her
wasn't-
balls, and he was loving it. Like
the knife. Was it like in a
No.
sheath? Like,
no,
was it-
he
okay.
literally shoved
Well, I guess
the
it
knife.
wasn't-
in her vagina while he
She's in a
was fucking
sense.
her ass.
Yeah.
Nice.
But like,
Yeah.
how is that safe?
It's not.
Also, like, right? How does that give like heavy damage?
Like
You know what I mean?
serious, like organ puncturing damage.
Because,
like
even if it's, you know,
if it nicks anything,
Yeah, no.
you can bleed out. Like
There
you're
is
gonna
a-
have
it's
an
like
organ
water-
prolapse.
functional. I feel that way too when I read stuff. I'm like, I do too. I functionally work.
Yeah, that's why the girl was wearing too many pairs of underwear.
I'm just like, some of it, I'm like, this makes zero.
Like
sense
when
to
you're
me.
reading and somebody has too many hands.
Yeah. Or like the positions are so wild that you couldn't physically ever do that.
When you're reading books with more than 2 or 3 lovers, you have to do some real thinking.
Do you imagine it like a picture? Like in like you're like trying to place them?
Yeah, I have actually.
Like it's Tetris?
Yeah, I can they'll describe the scene. Like the one I read had like 5 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, like they'll be like, okay, you know, John's on the ground, she's straddling him, Jake's behind him, you know, what's his name's above him with his balls in his mouth and his dick in hers, and you know, he's getting fucked in the ass.
It sounds like he's smacking his head against his chin.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
But you have to say though, writing that has to take a lot of work.
Right.
Or it'd just be really hilarious to write. Because I would imagine them like
completely make everything up and have no idea.
I imagine it to like no, like you know what I mean? They're all like switching position.
Right, and I'm just like, how?
Well,
a lot of coordination.
Imagination.
Probably some really good flexibility.
Body automator things, or you can add different bodies and move them around. Have you ever seen those? For like people use them for art.
No.
No, now you know.
But now I want to do photographic scenes.
I want to visualize it better.
Visualize it better.
I don't know. I don't think you're allowed to use as many bodies as you'd need. So
probably not. I need money.
I just don't get it.
You know what? She didn't get it either. So maybe you got to work your way up like she did.
I'm okay. This we all view you differently.
I don't. I don't think there's. I don't think you can
Lay off right now,
I'm
guys.
judging you, but I still love you.
That's
You
okay.
know?
I'm not judging you.
I am, and I don't care.
I don't kink shame in this house.
Well, I do.
Say I kink shame. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Doesn't mean I want it. Because that's
So about that.
the realistic of having to deal with more than one husband. No, thank
Exactly.
you. Or another, or a wife. No, thank you.
I barely want to deal with mine.
Exactly.
I don't want to have to do dishes for that many people.
No.
You probably have maids.
The shittiest wife is the one who does
Definitely.
Does anyone have any final thoughts that they would like to leave us with?
I also will not read anything with a main character death.
I don't read main character death either.
I
Unless
will
it's
not read main
temporary
character
main
death.
character death, because that can be a thing.
Right.
I feel like they're bringing over, like, that started as like a fan fiction thing. They're bringing it over a lot into like published books now, putting trigger warnings on.
Well, the way I see it, you see how many places are doing
sometimes
book bans? It's
Yeah.
going to end up being required.
Yeah.
Just like how there's warnings for movies and warnings for music now, it's
Yeah.
going to end up being
Yeah.
required for books. So authors might as well just start working on it.
Even if it's not on the
As
book,
they can.
usually you look it up and there's warnings on it.
yeah, a lot of them put them on their like websites.
TikTok
There's some
reviews,
reviews that
That's
put them
where I find
on.
a
Yeah.
lot of-
Now the real question is, how are we going to decide what book to read next?
I think we'll use the wheel again. Maybe do a little bit more research on the books that we put in.
Maybe we should do that on this podcast.
What?
Add the books, do the wheel.
That's a good idea.
Say that again for us louder.
Excuse me, I want some cheese.
Like a little mouse.
Isn't the Manchego good?
So good.
Is that this one?
Yeah, so good.
I got it at Walmart after watching
Can you cut me some blue cheese?
a shark.
Will you cut me some blue chease too?
Yeah. Which cracker do you
Guys,
go?
it's not blue cheese. It's blueberry.
It's blueberry
Cheese.
cheese.
I'm aware.
I really like the prosciutto
That's rosemary.
Got one of those?
with the boursin.
That is rosemary. I don't want that one.
Book club.
It's okay, I can edit this part out.
I can
Thank God for editing. We're going to be doing a lot of editing.
hold your horses.
Literally any books. Doesn't
Dark
matter.
romance.
It doesn't have to be dark
It
romance.
does not have to be. I actually don't read a lot of dark
I don't
romance.
either.
You
I
probably
read
more
like
witchy
TJ Klune
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah, I like witchy stuff. I put a witchy reverse harem on there for you.
Just for you.
Mary Martell's really good. That's who's on my wrist.
I googled serial killer books.
Nice. Can you pick one for me too?
She's got 3 devious, demented, and psychotic men who do anything to see her break.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That is my
Sounds
cup of
like a
tea.
dark romance.
With some white shoes in it.
Does she accept that she's a saint, or that accept that
She's gonna fuck them
fight
all.
being a saint, or
Yeah,
She's gonna fuck 'em all.
she's gonna fuck them
She's gonna
all.
fuck 'em all.
I'm only reading 3 pages anyway.
Here goes the wheel.
Our next book is
Do you want to say it?
Is that in the middle? Oh.
It's
Our next book will be Blood of the Saints.
Ooh, Oh, yay! I'm
Like, that's
excited.
oh, great.
Okay, so join us next month for Blood of the Saints, and we'll see how many of us actually finish the book this
Me and
time.
Allie aren't required to.
You are not required.
We have a little more notice this time, though.
Yes, we do have more notice. It was very last minute.
I think we need to read the first 3 chapters and the last 3 chapters, not the last.
Okay, I can read 3 chapters.
I can read 3 chapters.
It's by Denver Rose.
Are you sure about that?
Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been the Something Smutty Book Club on Must Love Books. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Must Love Books. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon under @MustLoveBooksPodcast. Thank you and happy reading.